Hi, I'm Sherry, and welcome to the Little Beading Closet. Find joy in making the Peyote PIZZAZZ beaded ring. Thanks to the way the crystals dome on top, your ring will have fabulous sparkle and a very comfortable fit. I'll teach you bead by bead because I think it's helpful if you're new to this technique or just haven't done it in a while to see it as you follow along and make yourself or a friend a new ring. In step 1, we'll use our 4mm Bicone crystals and 4 of the Delicas beads for the corners. In step 2, we'll make this rectangular shaped peyote bezel. For step 3, we'll be making this peyote strip band, and I'll show you how to attach the band over here on the other side. The beads for this ring are 4mm Bicone crystals and size 11 Delicas beads. I'm going to use the size 13 beading needle. It will make it a little bit easier since the peyote stitch can get a little bit tight, and I'm going to try it with my 1G beading thread. I begin by cutting my thread on a diagonal and then take a pair of pliers and crimp the end, giving it a flatter surface. This will make it just a little easier to slip the small eye of a size 13 beading needle on your thread. You need to start with 3 of your 4mm Bicone crystals and 1 Delicas bead. Go ahead and bring those down on your thread near the end. Just a little tail. Skip over your Delicas bead and needle back into the 3 Bicone crystals until you pull your Delicas up here next to the end. Pick up 1 more Delicas bead and needle back into 2 of your Bicone crystals, pulling your thread through, but not all the way. You want to leave this little loop here. Now take your tail and come from underneath up through your loop. And then push your tail from the top down through here. Pulling your thread. You've knotted your tail off right there. I'm going to go ahead and trim off my tail. Pick up 3 more of your 4mm Bicone crystals and needle back through the same Bicone that your thread is exiting. I want to retrace the center right angle weave section 1 time. So come through here once, pulling tight, back through here, coming down here, back through here, and now we'll step into this bead here. And up into this one. Pick up 1 more Bicone and 1 more Delicas. Bring those next to your work. Skip over the Delicas and needle back through this Bicone that you just added and the one underneath it. Again, pick up 1 Bicone and 1 Delicas. Bring it next to your work, skipping the Delicas on the end, and needling back through all 3 of the Bicones, coming out next to the Delicas. And just make sure you pull it all tight. Now we're going to be working with our Delicas beads. As you look at it in your hand, you'll have 3 crystals together on the top and 3 crystals together on the bottom. So go ahead and come through one Delica here. So between this Delica and this one, which will be our corners, go ahead and put 5 Delica beads and come into the one here on the next corner. I'm going to go ahead and turn it. Now on this part where there's 3 crystals, use 9 Delica beads and then needle into the one here on this corner. Five Delica beads, needling into this next corner. Nine Delica beads and needle into the next corner. You'll see that the crystals do kind of sit a little bit more on top of one section of it. I'm holding it in my hand so that curved part is down in my fingers, and I'll be working here. This is pretty easy because all the corners are the ones that attach to the crystals. Before we start our peyote, go ahead and needle into one Delica past this corner that we're coming out of now. So go ahead and come into this next one. And now we're just ready to begin our regular peyote. So we're going to pick up one bead, skip one, and come into the next one. Again, picking up one Delica, skipping one, and coming into the next one. You can tell that this next Delica is the one that's attached to your crystal. We'll call that the corner bead. When you get to the corner, you pick up 2 Delicas. Skip the next one, which is the corner, and come into the Delica after it. So on this round, we're putting 2 beads in every corner and 1 along the side. So you will pick up 1 bead, skip 1, come into the next one. Picking up 1 bead, skipping 1, coming into the next one. Skipping 1, coming into the next one. And now I know that this time I need to pick up 2 because this is a Delica bead that is attached to the crystal in the corner. So I'll pick up 2, go over the corner by skipping it and coming into the next one. One Delica, skipping 1, coming into the next one. One Delica, skipping 1, coming into the next one. Again, this is a corner bead attached to my crystal. So I'll pick up 2 Delicas, skipping over the corner bead, coming into the next one. Along the edge, it's just picking up one, skipping a bead, and coming into the next one. Skipping one, coming into the next one. Continuing that down my edge. Picking up one into the next one. And again, I can tell this is a corner because it's attached to the crystal, so I'll be picking up 2 Delicas and coming into the next one. This is about where my step up is going to happen. So I'm going to come into this one. And if you can, angle up and step up at the same time. Now we're ready for the next row. This row repeats the same, where we're going to go all along the edge, adding 1 Delica and putting 2 in the corner. So I'm here at the corner and coming out between the 2. So I'm going to pick up 2 and come into the next one. I want to make sure that they sit in the corner in this little shape, the V shape. Sometimes you have to coax them in there so they sit just like that on top of each other. Picking up 1 Delica, coming into the next one, working my way down the edge. Just going to continue down the edge. I'm putting on 1 more single Delica, coming into the corner. I'm coming out between the 2, so I need to pick up 2. And come back into the other side. Again, I want to make sure that they're sitting nice and neat. Sometimes the best way to do that is put your needle between them. Keep a little tension on the thread. On the side, picking up 1, coming into the next one. There we go. I feel like that's sitting better now. Continue all the way down. My last single one, coming into a corner where there's 2. Again, for this row, I'm putting 2 in every corner. I like to take my time, make sure that they sit just how I want them. Work my way up this edge with a single Delica. One more single Delica, coming into the corner with 2. So I know I need to pick up 2. Picking up 2 Delicas, coming into the corner. Trying to get this to sit just how I need it. Feel like it's being very stubborn. There we go. Okay, picking up one more Delica, the last one of this row before I step up. So I'm going to come into this one, pull it into place, and then step up into the next outer row. You can see that in this corner I have 2 beads here and 2 beads here. I'm going to go around one more time, this time just with 1 bead in the corner. It will be my last time around. So I'm going to come through here with 1 bead every time, even in the corner. Making sure I put 1 here before I go in the corner. This time there's only 1 bead in the corner. We're going to do that all the way around. So again, just 1 bead between every sticking out Delica all the way around on this row. Continue working down the edge. We're going to keep going. A single bead coming in right before the corner. We're at the corner. We're going to pick up just 1 bead, come into the other side of the corner. Like that, and then 1 more bead, just 1 between every sticking out Delica all the way around on this row. Just continue all the way around. I hope that you're enjoying this pattern so far. We're going to go around with 1 bead in the corner. Make sure that your bead sits kind of how you like it, kind of on a diagonal right here. We're just going to work down this row, putting 1 in the corner. Here we go. I don't know if you heard Senior Dog over there taking a nap. She must be stretching. Don't forget to make sure you put 1 bead right before you go in the corner. And then pick up 1 into the corner. We're almost to the end. Put 1 here. 1 more. And that is the completed row. That's what this side looks like. And this is where we were working. Now we just need to needle down to the inside. So we're coming out right here. I'm going to needle on a diagonal and step down into the next bead, which will bring me here. Coming down 1 more to bring me here. We're going to end up coming through the inside corner bead. This is where I want you to end up, in the inside corner. I'm excited that now we're going to start laying in our Delicas on this side. So coming out of the corner, we're going to pick up one Delica and come into the next sticking out Delica here. You can see that sitting here on top of that one. Maybe look at it from this angle too. Again, we're going to pick up a Delica and come into the next one that seems to be sticking out right here. Repeating that with one Delica, coming into the next sticking out one. One more Delica into the next sticking out one. Picking up one Delica, you'll want to needle into the one here in the corner. So just needle through the corner. Turn the piece and work up this side. Picking up one Delica, coming into the first one that seems to be sticking out right here. Picking up one Delica into the next one that's sticking out. Picking up one Delica, this time needling through the one here in the corner. Coming out of the corner, turning it in my hand, picking up one Delica, coming into the next one that appears to be sticking out. One Delica into the next sticking out. Another one. Coming down one more. And then picking up one more Delica, and this time needling into the one in the corner. Again at the corner, just turning it in my hand. Picking up one more, coming through the next one that appears to be sticking out. Picking up one Delica into this next one that's sticking out. We're almost to our step up. Picking up one more Delica. We're going to come through the one here in the corner. Oops, my needle fell off. Let's take a break. Let's pick up the last Delica before our step up and come into the corner. Might be easier to do it just coming through the corner and then step up into the next row, just like this. This time, as we go around, we're going to be placing 2 beads in each corner. First, we have to needle down to that corner by placing 1 bead each time between every sticking out Delica. One more, coming through the next one. Try not to get caught on beads every time. One more through here. And then you can tell you're at the corner because you just had the one bead in the corner. So go ahead and pick up 2 Delicas and come into the next sticking out bead. And just like before, you want those 2 beads that you added to kind of sit on an angle. And then we're going to pick up 1 Delica, come into the next sticking out Delica. One more Delica into the next sticking out Delica. Again, we're at a corner, so we're going to pick up 2 Delicas and come into the next one. Turning it in my hand, getting them to sit at an angle. Continue by adding 1 Delica between every sticking out, down the edge. Just trying to angle it a little bit so you can see where the beads go. 1 more Delica into the last one here on the side before the corner. Again, I'm at a corner where there's just 1 bead. So I'll pick up 2 Delicas and come into the next one. One bead into the next sticking out Delica. One more Delica into the next sticking out. Again, we're at a corner, picking up 2. Coming into the next Delica, and this is also where the step up is. So you can go ahead and step up. We have just one more round on this side, following the same way with 2 beads in each corner. I'm just going to add 1 Delica between every sticking out Delica. There we go. Working my way down to the first corner. Picking up 1 Delica, coming into the first Delica of the corner. Again, when we're at the corner, we're going to pick up 2 Delicas and come into the other side of it. I do want those to sit in the same direction as the other ones. Sometimes it helps just to poke my needle through and coax them into place. Just going to work on that all the way around this before I zip it up. This is the last row. So again, picking up 1 bead and coming into the corner. At the corner where there's 2 beads, pick up 2 Delicas and come into the very next one. Sometimes they're stubborn. There we go. Pop them right into place. Work your way up the other side, putting one bead between every sticking out Delica. One more, coming into the corner. Picking up 2 Delicas for the corner. Getting them to sit just like the other ones below it. There we go. 1 Delica between every sticking out along the edge. And then 1 before coming into the corner. Two Delicas into the other side of the corner. And getting those to sit like the ones below it. One more Delica into this one. Needle into the next sticking out Delica in the row that you're working on. Now we're going to zip up our 2 sides. You'll be working with all the sticking out Delicas on both sides, the back side and the front side. You can see that when you start squeezing them together, they form little teeth like a zipper. Gently squeeze it together. And come into the next sticking out Delica on the other side. And pull. Come into the next sticking out Delica on this side. Closest to you. And then the sticking out Delica on the side furthest away from you. And then the sticking out Delica here on the side closest to you. Just working back and forth from side to side with the ones that are sticking out. Coming up the side, and then when you come over here, you have the 2 for the corner. You're going to come into one side of the corner, and then you'll be using just this one that makes up the point. And come back into the other side of the corner. And then zipping up the other side by going through the sticking out Delicas, one on the side furthest away from you, and then coming through the one that's sticking out on the side closest to you. Working back and forth from side to side. again into the first bead at the corner, through the bead that makes up the point, and then down into the other side of the corner, again working back and forth. Along the side of your piece. Working with the Delicas sticking out. You can just continue zipping up all your sides and corners. Into the first one of the corner, through the one on the point, and down into the other side of the corner. Zipping up this side, coming out of the corner, working with my sticking out Delicas back and forth. Nearing the end, coming up to my last corner, stepping into this bead on the corner, through the one on the point, into the other side of the corner, and then almost to our beginning where we started zipping it up. Just want to go back and forth. Coming through here, and one more. Now the top of my ring is all complete and we're ready to attach the band. Now we have to get our needle and thread in place to start our band. Coming out here, we just want to turn it and needle into the bead just beside it. Headed back towards this corner. Go ahead and needle through this one that's sticking up here. And we now need our thread to come back through this bead that we're coming out of. So we're going to turn it around by coming through this one here on the right. And then you can come through the one just beside it and into the one that our thread should be coming out of. And then you'll be in line to start adding beads for your peyote band. Picking up one Delica, come into the next one. And it might be easier to put your needle at an angle instead of straight through. Pull that bead into place. You can see it's going to sit out from the side. Picking up one more Delica. We'll be adding 3 again. When I do this, I'm going to needle through my next bead at an angle. Pulling it here. That's going to sit out along the side. And one more into this next one. Again, if I needle through at an angle, it's a little bit easier. I'll go ahead and pull this into place. So I have 3 beads here along the edge, but my thread and needle is not in the right place to start. I need it to be coming into here. So I need to do a turnaround. To do the turnaround, I want to needle through this bead to the right. And through the one beside it. When you pull your thread, you can kind of feel it pop right into place between the beads and disappear. Now I still need to get up here to this place, so I'm going to come into the bead here below it. And then into this one. And now I'm ready to start my odd count peyote band. So I'll pick up one Delica and come into the next one. One more into the next one. For me, it's easiest to turn it in my hand as I work. So I'll pick up one more Delica, come into the next one, bottom up, picking up a Delica into the next one, picking up a Delica, and you have to come back into the one here. As you do that, coax this guy to sit into place right there. We need to do a turnaround to get our thread into place. Come down through this one here in the middle. I'm going to come down this one here. Come up through the one beside it. Needle back through the one on the middle and the one closest to your ring. Again, I'm going to turn it in my hand. I'm going to needle into this one here on the end. And I'm ready to work on my odd count peyote. So picking up 1, 2. I like to work from the bottom up, so I'll turn it in my hand. another one. Two, three. When I get to the top, I have to step back, have it sit there in place. I come down one to the right, and I step one to the left, I needle up through, not the one on the end, but the one right before it. And then I like to work from the bottom up, so I'll turn it in my hand and come up through the one on the end. I'll show you a few more times, and then you can work on the length of your band. Adding the two, turning it in my hand. Again, step back into this bead here. Needle down to the right, one back to the left, I'll come up and through the one, not on the end, but just before it. Now I'll turn the work of my hand. I like to work from the bottom up. Come in here and ready for another row. Go ahead and work on the length of your band, and when you're ready to attach it to the other side, we'll work on that step together. When your peyote band is long enough to fit your finger, make sure that you end with 3 sticking out Delicas. And I'll show you how to attach the band over here on the other side. First, we're going to move our needle and thread over here to attach it. I'm going to come through this one here, and then through here, come down one bead, end by coming through here. We're ready to attach our band to the edge of the ring. Starting at the corner, we're going to count down 3 beads. 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and needle through the 3rd bead up towards the corner. Now we need to do a turnaround. I'm going to come through this bead here on the right. And then go ahead, turning it in my hand, needling into the one beside it, and come back through just here below the first one of our band that we're attaching. Now we're going to zip the band into the base of the ring, come through the band, and the next Delica in line on your base, and pull it into place. Again, needle through the band, and the next one in line on your base. Pulling it tight. You'll see that starting to come together. Go ahead and needle into the last bead here on your band. and then the next one in line here on your base. Let's go ahead and finish off our thread. I'm just going to do a turnaround like before. I'll come through one of my beads above the one that I'm coming out of, turning it in my hand, and then I'll needle into the one beside it. Careful to get around my band. And then just needle through a few more Delicas. I'll come through a few of the beads on a diagonal and trim off my thread. It's the Peyote PIZZAZZ beaded ring. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a beautiful day.